So were there any specific techniques or strategies or lessons that was a game changer for you while coaching with me?
Definitely, I would have to say the planning of the video. So before just being a post and pray or making so much energy, putting so much energy on one post and hoping that's the one that gets a lot of engagement, building a brand and saying, all right, I'm gonna make this type of post this week because then I'm gonna follow it up with something else to complement that. Or if I'm gonna do buyers this week and then sellers this week, and really building a page versus just that one post, making it the most value added as I can. And then prior to coaching with you, I just wanted to appeal to every single person because I thought that's what was going to be the key to success. But after working with you, I found that it's not necessarily a niche, but my target client, my avatar, is that first time buyer or seller. So that's where I can utilize my coaching skills and my understanding of how real estate works in today's market, to really focus on who I'm working with. And when I'm making content, I'm putting myself in the viewer's shoes as a first time buyer or seller and asking myself, is this going to be value added? If I'm watching this on my feed, am I getting anything out of this, or is it just another video?
Yeah, yeah, that makes so much sense. And I do ROI marketing with real estate agents. And so I guess my question to you is like, since you've made these changes on your, online presence and social media, have you gotten leads and prospective clients?
I have, yes. I currently have two, one that
Wow.
I'm working with. One we started working with shortly after we started coaching. It was, I think, after my first or my second post. But now through a higher engagement of my posts, I'll be on a consultation. Somebody asks me a question. I'm like, oh, I already made a video for that. I try to add them and send them that video to answer some of their questions a little better than, um, just me telling them once and then they have to remember everything I said. Now they have something to fall back on.
Yeah, and as as far as return on investment goes, ROI marketing, I do like specific calculations. They're very, very mathematical, but it's based on paid, advertisements online, and then to see if like your return is worth what you're putting into it.
Mhm.
And then also in your case, everything you're talking about now, how you were able to get leads and clients, you're talking about organic growth, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So there's also a return on investment when it comes to organic growth. And I usually will calculate the time that someone spent, the time that someone put in, or the energy. I know it's hard to kind of, mathematically put time or energy into an actual number, but
Hmm.
I like to do that for my coach clients who are organically growing because, time and energy is still money,
Yes, absolutely.
right? So if you're investing time and energy, there needs to be a return or else we need to course correct and try something else,
Yeah. And
right?
treating it just as such, if you're looking at something, if what you're doing isn't working, then you want to pivot. If it's working, you want to double down on that and see how you can get that to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was like the first thing we worked on were the needle
Yes.
movers.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I think that's so important because like year to year, as CEOs, as entrepreneurs, we're so many things, right? There's so many things on our plate. We're multitasking, and real estate agents, you guys are in the same boat. You guys are, your own business owners. You're your own CEOs. So having to juggle so much at once is sometimes very overwhelming, right?
It can be so I utilize my Google Calendar very, very heavily. And I have to link it with my wife so she knows what's going on. She knows when I'm going to be home, when I'm going to be out, where I'm at. If I didn't have that, if I didn't have that hard drive for my brain, I'd spiral out of control.
Yeah.
But having something like that to lean on is really, really helpful because, like you're saying, you have to block your time to, all right, on Tuesday from 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, I'm making content, I'm doing nothing else. And then after that, I can follow up with emails. And if people are calling me or texting me, I can get back to them. But having those time blocks is absolutely crucial, or else I'll be doing everything at once and nothing gets done.
Yeah, so when we first started working together and we went over some market research of what you were doing, what was working, what was not working, and then what was working in the industry. And then we did like honed in on your three main top needle movers for the year. Did that help you to get more focus with your real estate business?
Yes, absolutely. Because I'm no longer trying to tackle everything. I narrowed my focus to only what's going to move the needle, and that was really understanding my customer. My perfect client is that first time seller or first time buyer. And now when I'm making content, I'm not trying to appeal to the masses. I'm only trying to appeal to that avatar. And I'm finding that there's a lot more value that I can provide because I'm only focused on what happens during a transaction for a first time buyer. Well, we're going to go through an inspection. What can you inspect? What can you expect when you're getting a home inspection? I can make videos on what to look for, what to expect. I have a couple in the works now. I don't want to go into too much more detail, but it helps create that focus and helps allow me to be more creative because I now have the objective.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see them.
Yeah.
So I know we went over also boundaries, and it was very it wasn't like very direct. It was subtle, right? Those lessons
Mhm.
and boundaries were very subtle, but we did go over it. So did you follow through with the boundaries that we did? We went over boundaries like with your remember when you were in corporate and you were the only free time you had was like 1 hour in the morning, and then you were still taking emails and calls, and then we went over boundaries. So did you follow through with holding your boundaries, and did that help you in any way?
Yes, absolutely. And I still hold them. So unless it's a huge fire that requires my attention immediately, I still, I'll put my phone aside. Like for the example in the morning, I'll go to the gym. For that hour, like it's super early in the morning. There's really nothing going on. I need to just allow myself that focus because I have too much energy. I fidget a lot. I need to get that energy out. So I like to do it in the morning. And then try to set a time where I'm no longer working, and I try to make that 8 p.m. If I still get a text or I still get a call, from not doing anything, then I'll pick up, I'll answer, do whatever I need to do. If it's during a transaction and may require my attention, that's a separate case. But on a regular day, if it's after 8 o'clock, I'll put that as my number one priority to do in the morning once I start my day.
To have your self-care time, right?
Yes, absolutely. I got to have some family time too.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm so happy to hear you follow through with that and it's helped you. And do you feel like it's even helped you to be more productive because you've held your ground with your boundaries?
Yes, because now I know if I don't do it now, I'm not going to be able to do it later because I have that boundary. So it also, helps create that focus because if you don't have it set up, then, well, I'm going to do it a little bit of it now. I'll do some things and then it's going to linger or I'll push it off, push it off, push it off. Now suddenly it's 9:30 at night. It didn't get done because I was doing something else. I was getting distracted. So it certainly helps create the focus and the need to do it now and just get it done.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. I honestly, that's like the thing that makes me the happiest, I think, from this whole client win. So, but I challenge you a little bit further, right? With that boundary in the sense of turning your phone on airplane mode when you're in your hour of self-care in the morning, because that is if you read all the books and you talk to other successful people, that is like the millionaire mindset, which is they get up very early in the morning and they preserve that time for themselves, whether it's like a cold shower and a workout or a gym, an hour at the gym. They really protect that time, and it gives them the drive and the focus to be productive for the rest of the day. So I do challenge you to just turn your phone on airplane mode, because honestly, there's no emergency great enough that you can't handle an hour from that time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when it's super early in the morning. If I was doing this at 1 o'clock, then it would be a much different story.
Yeah.
But from 6 to 7 a.m., I think everything is going to be okay.
I know. Alex will call me like, "Have you seen Joe? Where's Joe?" um,
Exactly.
so what seemed, I mean, we went over this already, but like what seemed possible? a few months ago, what seemed impossible a few months ago before coaching with me that is possible now?
So other than some of the things that we've already discussed, I would say making great videos with just an iPhone. I was right before meeting you, I even purchased a new actual camera. I got a little tripod stand and everything because I thought that in order to get engagement, in order to be valuable, I had to have the highest tech, equipment. And you really don't need to. You have to focus on what the content is, and you can um, manufacture a place in your house that where you can only shoot your video. Everything is within your control. The iPhone, I have the not the newest one. I think I have the 12 or the 13. um, but it has good enough quality where if you just put it on a stand, it shoots really good video. And then there's a bunch of apps like the captions app you can add to make the captions, make the videos more engaging this way. You don't need to overspend on super expensive equipment. You just need to utilize what you have already.
Yeah, I love that so much. Many people do think it's about vanity metrics, like how many followers you have, how your videos, have to be like super fancy. And really, building an ecosystem online with clients who are loyal and who will be return clients, that has very little to do with like vanity metrics. Vanity metrics will sometimes, superficially get people like to follow you or, be interested in you, but that doesn't necessarily convert them into loyal clients.
Exactly. You'll
Yeah.
have a follower for a little while, but they don't actually become, a substantial follower or like you're saying, a client. There's no conversion. And that's not what we're looking for. I'm looking for, those that are interested in real estate, those that are looking to make a move, or they know somebody looking to make a move. They find value in the content that I provide. And it's just nice to connect with people, even if they're not looking for real estate. It's still nice to build a network of
Yeah, and I like how you are very hands-on with them, like very a real person when it comes to serving, your audience. So I like that so much because if you had like 100,000 followers or even 10,000 followers, there's no way that you can give them that level of intimacy to your audience and that level of value to each person. So
exactly.
I really admire that. And I've had like these huge like agencies, reach out to me and say like, "Oh, we can get you 10,000 followers and 100,000 followers." And sometimes I experiment with those agencies just to see if they would be beneficial like to you guys, to my clients. But I find that like it's really just vanity metrics like, and I've told these agencies before like, my goal is not to get like 10,000 followers who don't care about me. I'd rather have like 500 or 50 people who like are loyal to me and really care about what I'm posting versus just 10,000 people who don't care at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I
Exactly.
mean? And it's so hard to even be authentic with people when it's just all about vanity. So, but I did want to talk to you about this recent agency that I worked with. That it was okay. Like there's pros and cons, but I'll talk to you about it after the call. So I think this is yeah. So what are the transformations occurring within yourself as a result of your takeaways from coaching with me?
So I'd say that I'm much more confident in myself as a realtor, outside of the transaction. So before in the beginning, you learn all this information and then you need to go find a client to apply that information and help them reach their goal. And unless I was directly working with somebody, I didn't really feel valuable. But now through coaching with you and really leveraging social media, in all of the content that I'm able to provide now and understanding how to provide that content, I have that confidence. I wasn't really comfortable in front of a camera before. I always just felt awkward. Like I'll say everything perfectly if I'm facing a wall, but the second you put a camera there, like my mind goes blank and I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. But just through practicing and breaking it down slowly, do one post a week and now two posts a week, etc. I'm building up that confidence muscle where I can create content a little more regularly.
Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course.
And so what would you say to somebody who's like on the fence about starting real estate sales coaching with me?
You have to give it a shot. Um, real estate sales can be incredibly rewarding, and there's no ceiling. There's also no floor, so that's one of the caveats. But coaching with you has really helped me not only become more confident, but I now find that it's really, really valuable for the clients themselves because now, if you're working with someone who doesn't have that confidence, they may not know when to jump in or what to say when it needs to be said. But because I have a really strong foundation in what I do and the services I provide and how I provide them, I can give a better service to my clients. It's a client-based business. Um, and then from a social media standpoint, my social media page has definitely grown from a number of followers, but also the number of posts that I make and the quality of the posts that I make. It's a must for anybody who's just jumping on, just so you can get started on the right foot. And for anybody that's been doing this for a while, it's good just because you can fine tune some of the things that you're doing because you do give really great constructive feedback.
Thank you so much, Joe. It's been a pleasure coaching with you. And I
Likewise.
mean, yeah, it's been amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Okay. Bye, Joe. Thank you.
Bye.